As if you needed one more productivity hack, here's one. And the best part is, you don't even have to count past 3. We're always searching for those hacks that can give us the productivity that we need or we fantasize about. We pray that if we curate the right list, do the proper things, and start our day at 4 a.m. with $50 water spritz, that everything in life will magically come into line. We'll win at life. But honestly, that's an abuse of productivity hacks. Instead, hacks are supposed to be just that, hacks. They're hacks to life, shortcuts, not foundations. So right off the bat, do not expect to dramatically change your life with a little twist to your routine or how you do things. Now, you might find the perfect combination to help your life be a little bit easier and help you finish those pesky projects that seem to drag on too long. That being said, here's a simple productivity hack that might help you calm the chaotic, problematic life you've got and help calm that overwhelming urge to quit life and move into the mountains. And if you do want to move into the mountains, you could probably use this productivity hack for that too. So here it is. It's called the rule of 3s. Now, I'm a big productivity hack type of guy, and I'm also a big list guy. And I don't just mean that lists are really important in my daily life. I mean that I write massive lists and then I try to challenge myself to finish them. However, just like a fat guy at an ice cream shop that's handing out all-you-can-eat free ice cream scoops, I can only fight against nature for so long. Sooner or later, that long list collapses under the weight of my day, and I find myself binging on YouTube videos, much like that fat guy, demolishing that ice cream shop's will to live. I've made the bigger lists work for a day or two, but after a while, they all kind of peter out, and I don't stick to them very well. Oftentimes, many of the tasks would drag on to the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Then, sooner or later, I would look for the latest productivity hack to try and salvage the work that I was missing out on, again, because I was binging on YouTube and maybe even a bowl of ice cream or two. So, enter the rule of 3s. Take your productivity hacks and test them with this simple rule. Are they reasonable enough to follow every day and you actually get something done? Do they stress you out when you try to keep them? Or do you find yourself feeling accomplished by the end of the day? It matters because productivity is not pure discipline. It also requires inertia, hope, ambition, and some motivation sprinkled in. When a person tries to raw dog a work day every single day, their will begins to fade. They may make it to the weekend, but the bits and pieces of those starved projects are going to weigh them down. You feel farther behind and wonder, will I ever catch up? With the rule of 3s, you take back the simplicity of a list and spread your project timeline out to blocks of weeks instead of days. So here's how the rule of 3 works. First off, 3 hours. Okay, first you're going to determine a project that needs about 3 hours of time to finish or to get a good chunk of progress done on. Think 3 hours of undivided focus. This may be a major presentation, a business deal, a book, a video, something like that. Whatever your field, you'll probably have at least one single project that takes at least 3 hours of undivided attention and focus. Do your best to devote your first 3 hours, if possible, to that project. As the day runs on, time will become more precious and your energy will begin to drop. Typically, your levels of creativity and abstract thinking are higher earlier in the day, and as the day drags on and more gets pressed in your gray Play-Doh blob of a brain, the more those mundane and concrete tasks should take precedence. So take those first 3 hours, 9 to 12 for most of us, and devote them to the most mentally taxing work. If you need to, shut off your phone, shut off all of the distractions, close the door to your cubicle, and maybe even put a do not disturb sign on your wall or your door. If you have to, fire flare guns at your coworkers to let them know. And then chip away at that big, monstrous project, and you'll win in no time. Now, rule number 2, 3 shorter tasks. Once you've made the main thing, then take that beautiful number 3 and apply that amazing, satisfying, magical, oh so spiritual number to the rest of your tasks. And determine what are 3 shorter tasks that I can do. Take 3 things you can do without too much effort and go ahead and chip away at those. You could either apply them to bigger projects you're working on or complete shorter tasks to fill in the gap. Now, to be frank, this video itself is one of my 3 shorter tasks. The big task that I was working on took me a little over 3 hours this morning, but I worked hard on that, chipped away at it, and now this is something to fill in the gaps of what I need to do. So maybe it's doing some edits on a paper, putting in some video transitions if you make video, maybe proofreading a written proposal, double checking some data, maybe it's editing the essay that you wrote for school. Pick some tasks that you know won't eat up your storage of time and dive right in. Now, one thing to keep in mind, try to do these tasks where you can finish them in one session. If there needs to be carryover, then try to get it in 2 sessions. The point of this whole short task thing is, it's kind of like motion, inertia. You're winning, you're achieving, you're getting things done, and so often there's so many of those little tasks that we need to complete to fulfill the big picture task that we're trying to accomplish. Now, some people like to put in these easy victories and gain some momentum throughout the day, so they'll put them first thing in their day. This is certainly reasonable and it may work for you. I find I work best when I can get the daunting tasks chipped away at, and I can accomplish something with those and then move on to the more mundane tasks. I appreciate getting the smaller tasks as I move throughout my day and I'm going downhill in my energy levels. After all, that hamster starts to just ride the wheel in the later half of the day. So find what works for you. Perhaps those 3 tasks work best at the beginning of your day. If so, go for it. Just know that if that's the case, you're likely a psychopath. Rule number 3, 3 maintenance tasks. These are the really simple things that take almost no brain power. Now, most of the time, people will answer their emails at the beginning of the day and they get stuck in all of that trash. Wait till the later part of your day to answer those emails. They don't take much thought, and you know you got to get them done. Use the energy of your day at the beginning, and then you can ride the wave out and know you accomplished everything by getting those little tick marks done. So it could be sending emails. Maybe it's buying those office supplies at Walmart because you hate dodging the hover rounds that are driving around. Maybe you've been putting off watering your desk plant, and it's starting to look more like an ode to death than the centerpiece of life. You have plenty of maintenance tasks that your business or job requires you to do on a regular basis. These things are mundane. Often they get put on the back burner because we know the major project should get the first priority. Look, all that said, productivity hacks work with the human psyche in mind. They're designed because their creators know that we as humans have little to no ambition at about 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, especially on a Friday. Heck, even the auto industry figured this one out. Friday afternoons produce less quality vehicles and more spectacular crashes and burnings. So cut your losses when you need to do those tasks that amount to sweeping and cleaning out the gutters. The next morning, you'll actually feel better that you got some of those low maintenance task things off your list and you don't have to worry about them for a little while. So go get some work done. Using productivity hacks really can bring peace of mind, but you gotta know how to use them properly. Using them properly means they're not the foundation, they're a supplement, they're a tool that you can use to get through your day more efficiently and get the things done that you need to. Find your productivity hacks where you can, like seedy corners of the internet, where guys on video are telling you random productivity hacks or telling you to go to his website where he's got more blogs about productivity hacks, that kind of stuff. It may just transform your life, but please, do not use productivity hacks to ensure that you get more Doritos to your mouth in less time over a day. We don't need a superstar like you making the rest of us look bad. Love you guys.